Gym Makers presents the Beyond Brilliant broadcast, where we empower ladies and leaders to shine in their brilliant zone. Join your hosts, Dr. Nicole Steele and Dr. Dee Parker, as they share their secrets to help you gain clarity, build confidence, and unleash your courage. If you're ready to get connected, gain insight, spark your creativity, be inspired, and embrace your brilliance, grab a pen and a friend, and let's get started. Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond Brilliant, where we help you gain the clarity, confidence, and courage to shine in your brilliant zone. I'm Dr. Dee Parker, and I'm the Courage Catalyst. I'm the hand on your back that helps you move out of your comfort zone all the way into your courage zone.
And I am the one and only Dr. Nicole Steele, the confidence coach, and I am that voice in your ear reminding you of who and whose you are. And so, Dr. D, oh my goodness, we have the pleasure of welcoming back one of our favorites. This fabulous, multifaceted individual has been on our show before, and I am so delighted that we're going to be able to go a click deeper and talk about her book and talk about something that is near and dear to your heart, and that is overcoming fear. Miss Courage
sister.
Catalyst.
You know it, you know it. So, honey, if you did not tune in for the first episode, we encourage you to go back, look at the very first show, go to our site, beyondbrilliantbroadcast.com, and check that out. You don't want to miss it. So we're going to turn our attention to fear. We're going to talk to this amazing vessel who is so transparent in her journey and hear what she has to say. Remember, get a pen and a friend. Catch these gems that she's about to drop.
Yes.
Ready, girl?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
So Miss Georgia Wolf Samuels, Miss multifaceted businesswoman, corporate, climber, executive, mother, wife, author, coach, the list goes on and on. You have so many hats that you wear, so many accomplishments, too many to really share in one sitting. I've got to believe that with everything that you have done, you have likely faced fear at some point or another. Is that the case?
That is the case.
Okay.
We all do.
Yes,
It's normal.
Yes, nobody can get away from it. So can you share with our listeners what is one of the most courageous things that you've done in your lifetime?
Awesome. I would say the most courageous thing I've done in my lifetime is penning and releasing my book, Redefining Her. Why? Because in it are the most intimate moments of my life that are not so delightful, right? Yeah. And so for a long time in my life, I was ashamed, right? But what is shame? Shame is sabotaging habits aimed at minimizing your existence.
Oh, blink.
Okay.
Say that one
All right.
more time. Y'all better catch this.
Shame is sabotaging habits aimed at minimizing your existence.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
That's
And so I had to put all my effort into releasing this memoir and thriving through the fear, right?
Thriving through the fear.
Through the fear. And that was how I was able to do that was to anchor into my why. Why was I doing this? It wasn't about me. It wasn't about me. It was about the women out there who are wrestling with fear and self-doubt and toxic thoughts. That's who it's about. And so God wanted me to release this book. So hopefully through the lens of my story, other women can pick up the nuggets and release themselves from the shackles of their story.
Come now, ma'am. That's deep. That's deep. And you dropped a couple of gems on us, honey, that I wish I had my pen right here so I could repeat what you just said. I think that is so incredible and so important of what you just said about your why.
Yes.
because it really does allow us to go a little bit deeper, right? You had to get attached to your why. You
Yes.
had to understand it first, get
Yes.
healed from it first, in order for you to help others to set themselves free.
Exactly.
So my question to you, knowing that, we're talking about fear, and I heard you talk about, that penning this book was the most courageous thing that you've ever had to do.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get out of your comfort zone to really do it? Like, you knew your why, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how did you push past your comfort zone to really get out there and do it?
So it starts with redefining or changing my perspective of what fear is, right? Fear is normal. We each and every one of us go through fear. We experience fear. But challenging that perspective meant I had to change what fear meant to me.
Yes.
It was no longer a blocker, right? And this is a daily exercise, by the way. It is not a blocker. What it is an indicator that greater is required of me, right? And so I need to step up. So rather than feeling the fear and saying, I can't, I shouldn't, right?
Yes.
I look at it as it's a signal, it's an indicator that says more is required of me.
That's right.
And I need to step forward.
That's right. The
So
thing
it's
that you're most fearful of, head towards that direction. of it.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that because we can go fear of everything, right?
Exactly.
Fear, fill in the blank of
Yes.
whatever you're afraid
Yes.
of. I think that's so incredibly powerful because a lot of people get caught up in
Exactly.
that area of fear, and we will miss the most incredible things because of doubt.
Exactly.
And fear.
And we really fear because we can't control the ending.
That's it. That's it. You got it, because it's the unknown.
It's the unknown.
Uncertainty and the what ifs. Like, oh my God,
Yes.
doubt and fear kill more dreams than anything ever will. Put it in the blank, anything, whatever.
Yes.
Because you won't even get there because
Yes.
of all the things that are holding you back and shackling you.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
God,
Yes.
this is a great segment. I'm so glad you're here. Now, I know that we've got a lot of show left and a lot of time with you, which is amazing. And we're going to get into a lot more things in your book. We're going to talk a little bit more about fear, how to conquer it, some of the things that you're going to give to our guests and our viewing audience. But we're going to have to take a break, I believe, right? I feel like we're going to have to take a break and have our conversation on the other end. You ready? You still
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Our charge to you all who are watching is, what's holding you back? Where's the fear in your life that you need to identify? We want you to think about that, and we'll be right back after this break.
Are you looking to start that new business, create new strategies, or stretch beyond where you are right now? Well, look no further. Gym Makers LLC is a coaching and consulting company committed to empowering ladies, leaders, and little girls. We're committed to providing insight and innovative resources that exceed today's normal standards, and to help you gain the clarity, confidence, and courage you need to shine in your brilliant zone. Through our creative content, coaching, conferences, and brilliant community, we'll help you develop the necessary skills to not only achieve your goals, but to sustain them. If you're ready to go after your big dreams, accomplish your big goals, and soar to the next level, contact the Gym Makers team today and let us help you get there. Are you feeling paralyzed with panic or overwhelmed with how to switch gears and pivot in your business? In the midst of crisis or change, we're often pushed to think differently, more creatively, and be more courageous in taking smart risks. This can not only put us in an uncomfortable position, but for many, it can cause you to come to a screeching halt. Instead of becoming discouraged and losing business opportunities, ask yourself these questions. How might I reframe my thinking? How might I explore new ways of doing business? How might I create a new, innovative approach to my problem? How might I pivot like a pro? Gym Makers invites you to schedule your 1-hour consultation today and let us help you put a pivot plan in place to take your business to the next level. Are you stuck, frustrated, in need of a fresh perspective? Don't want to go another year just thinking about that brilliant idea? Well, have no fear. Your struggle stops here. What you need is a brilliant brainstorm to help you begin flowing in your brilliant zone again. If you're ready, we're waiting. Schedule a brilliant brainstorm with members of our Gym Makers team to help you get unstuck today.
Welcome back. Oh my goodness. Now listen, before the break, we have been having an incredible conversation with Mrs. Georgia Wolf Samuels and her incredible book, Redefining Her. But we've also been talking about courage and fear. And so what we are going to now talk a little bit deeper about is really her taking action and the things that she's had to do to overcome the fear in her life and how she can help you and me and you and me and all of us. Dr. Nicole?
So one of the things I love about your book, again, is it's just so transparent. And throughout your book, you explain many moments in life where you had to take action, including with your first marriage, which was an abusive marriage. You had to find the courage to evacuate and leave for you and your daughter's sake. You had to take action all along the journey. But then you also talk about times when courage requires you to be still. And so can we talk a little bit about that? Because, courage, it's an action word, but
Yes,
it's not
honey.
always the way that we think.
That's right.
And so I want you to talk about that part of your book. So powerful.
Thank you for that question. I think first thing I want to say is courage doesn't exist without fear.
That's right.
There is no courage if there is no fear, right?
right.
First and foremost. In the moment I discussed in the book was right after that season, that difficult season that I was trying to navigate with my current husband, not my first husband. And we were going through that, complex, challenging time during our marriage. And a few months after that, I think I was still going through the healing process, right? And I had embarked on hiring a therapist to kind of help me, an individual therapist, had nothing to do with couples counseling. This was separate. And I hired this therapist, and she consistently told me week after week, you need to step back. You're doing too much. We have to get creative with your appointments because your schedule is so busy, right? And it was busy primarily because I'm an executive in corporate America. And part of what I do is I audit companies. And one of my primary clients was going through an IPO. It was a great resume building opportunity. I am not stepping down from this. What are you talking about? I need to step back and focus on me and my family. No. Why? Because my worth was somehow intertwined in that experience, right? How dare me step back? And my employer offers that, right? It's not like they would look at me, give me the side eye, or not allow me to take time off to take care of my mental health. They would. They advertise those programs every day.
Right.
But for me, my worth was tied up in it. And so God cleared my schedule for me.
Come on.
Because one morning I left therapy and I was on my way to work. And I was feeling symptoms for a while, but I chalked it up to just being tired, right? And so I get to my client and I'm turning my computer on and I get the blue screen of death. And as I'm trying to figure out my computer, I felt the left side of my body going numb, right? You don't really feel it. It's a lack of feeling, right? And so I felt unbalanced, right? And I knew something was happening, but it wasn't going to happen in front of my team. So I was 10 minutes away from a major meeting. I grabbed my laptop, head to my car. I called my husband, and my husband he's so calm. He's the opposite of me. And I could tell he was upset with me, but he didn't want to go off, right? He was just, where are you now? And I didn't know at that moment that he was trying to meet me on my way to try to get to an emergency room. I never made it to the emergency room. Okay? And I spent 3 days in a hospital. Couldn't be released until I could speak and I could eat on my own. And few months in therapy to regain the strength on the left side of my body, right? So here's the thing, right? As a woman we sometimes feel like we can boil the ocean, right? We constantly want to wear the cape. But sometimes the courage comes in stepping back, stepping down, sitting down
Still.
and being still.
That's a whole meal.
Yes.
You just
Yes.
My God. Yeah.
And I felt like it was that stillness that God finally put the seal on my healing, right?
Seal
It was
on
in
your
that
healing.
moment of stillness that Escoviches was born. My restaurant was born.
Thank God. Thank God.
Exactly. Thank you, Lord.
You can get your clips of cauliflower.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
So I had to be courageous to step back
Wow.
and be still.
Wow.
My God. Well, we are, again, having to catch my breath. You did this to me the first episode. My goodness, I have to catch my breath because you are doing it again, hitting me all up in my spirit here. Thank you for that. There's going to be a lot more after this particular break, but we have to pay some bills, so we will be right back.
The time has come to take your brilliance to the next level. Do you have big dreams and desires that have unfortunately been placed on pause? Do you feel exhausted or overwhelmed from trying to figure things out on your own? Do you have potential that is yet to be unlocked and unleashed? We know all too well what it feels like to have to answer yes to these questions. What you need is to be connected to a community of brilliant women like yourself, where you can be supported, encouraged, and challenged to get outside of your comfort zone. Don't let another year pass you by and risk being stuck in the same place, personally or professionally, this time next year. Accept this personal invitation to join our Beyond Brilliant network, where we help women move beyond their brilliance and gain the clarity they need, thrive confidently in their purpose, and live courageously in their power.
Diamond in the Rough has been for me a sense of family.
Family.
All the mentors are always there for you. You're surrounded by a group of girls who
Love you, care for you, try to help you.
You feel that you're welcome to ask any questions.
They implement growth, empowerment, love.
We bring families together.
It's life-changing.
That you have a sister anywhere you go.
We look out for each other. We lift each other up.
Because of the sisterhood and what they teach you there, you know that you have to place it in your life forever.
The vision and the mission of this organization is huge, transforming the world, one child, one family, and one community at a time.
Are you feeling paralyzed with panic or overwhelmed with how to switch gears and pivot in your business? In the midst of crisis or change, we're often pushed to think differently, more creatively, and be more courageous in taking smart risks. This can not only put us in an uncomfortable position, but for many, it can cause you to come to a screeching halt. Instead of becoming discouraged and losing business opportunities, ask yourself these questions. How might I reframe my thinking? How might I explore new ways of doing business? How might I create a new, innovative approach to my problem? How might I pivot like a pro? Gym Makers invites you to schedule your 1-hour consultation today and let us help you put a pivot plan in place to take your business to the next level.
Welcome back. Now, I, again, am hoping you're picking up all the gems that Miss Georgia is dropping on us. And wow, before the break, we were talking about, well, she was sharing, our mouths were on the floor, about this incredible story that really allowed her to exhibit strength and courage in her stillness and God sitting her down in a space. One thing that you said that's just kind of just set with me was that when that happened to you, when you were feeling, the numbness in your arm, is that you shut your laptop and you moved out of the way because you didn't want your team to see what was happening and the vulnerable state that you were in.
Exactly.
How many of us do that?
Exactly. We're afraid that we may appear weak, right? And it may impact our job or promotions. And so we're afraid to be vulnerable.
Yeah, agreed.
And to ask for help.
Exactly, right? And that's courageous.
Yes.
Right? My sister
Yes.
Brene Brown talks all about being vulnerable.
Exactly.
And all of that. And so as we're on this same topic, I think it's only appropriate that we ask for some of your advice to a lot of the women that find themselves paralyzed by fear, that can't be vulnerable and haven't found their voice just yet, and then are not free, as we talked about in the during our break time.
Yes.
What advice would you give them?
So I will advise women that first and foremost, you are not alone. We all experience fear from time to time. I do on a daily basis, right? And so what that requires for me to thrive through it is to redefine what fear is. It is not a blocker. It's not an indicator that I am not worthy or I'm not enough. Instead, it's an indicator that greater is in me that is trying to come out. And so what are the actions that I need to take to unleash it, right? Whatever it is. Okay? And so I also not only challenge you to redefine what fear is for you, right? But to stand in a posture of I can, right? I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me, right? I can, intentional, consistent actions that moves the needle forward. Stand in that posture, rooted in Christ.
Bling, 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 bling. Again, gems dropping. Oh my goodness. And I love how you just broke all of that down for us, you know, and talked about really standing in it, using fear as your fuel.
Yes.
Giving voice to fear. And sometimes we don't even say what we're afraid of, right? Out loud, literally out loud, that I'm afraid of this. If you hear it outside of yourself, it no longer has a space to capture you.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what I heard from your story, that you were just out loud kicking it in the face and using it as fuel.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Dr. Nicole, I know you have something to
I know in the last show you talked about how with your book, the book was all about you. And you thought, we were talking about that even earlier, you thought it was going to stop there. But God said, no, there's more.
Yes.
And so in this most recent season, you've been taking your story and experience and all of the wisdom and nuggets within your book, and now you are turning it towards the world.
Yes.
And you are just positioned. God has placed you in a position now to help the masses. I know you've got some incredible projects going on.
Yes.
Can you tell the listeners about that?
I sure will. So initially I thought, okay, he wants me to be a light. That means I had to be transparent and tell my story to the world. So I did it. I thought that was it. And then he came back and he says, now affirmation cards. I said, I don't know how to do that, but I did it, right? And then I created a workbook to accompany the book, right? And so happened to share it with a friend of mine who is a coach, very dear friend. And I remember I shared it with her for her to give me her perspective as to whether if she was to purchase this workbook, would it help her, right? And I remember she reached back out to me and she said, this is not a workbook. This is a coaching program. And I said, oh, whatever, right? And then the lady, a few days after that, the lady who was designing my website, I was showing her, we were on Zoom, I shared my screen, and I said, I need you to make space for this workbook. This is going to be the price. It accompanies the book. We could sell it as bundles. And when she was done, she said, if you sell that as a workbook, I will come to Atlanta and slap you myself. Okay? She says, that's a coaching program. And it was in that moment that it finally took root. It clicked, right? And so over the last several months, I've been working on my coaching program, which is titled Redefining the Brand Called You in Power.
Wow.
Right? And so that book is about my story. I'm transparent about my journey, but this program will help women who are wrestling with self-doubt and fear and toxic thinking to push through that, move beyond that, conquer the toxic thinking, so that they can unleash their greatness, right? They can respond to the world in power.
I love it.
Yes.
How incredible. Woo! And when is that going to be available?
Please, September.
And where will people be able to find where to sign up?
They can go to my website at www.georgiawolfsamuels.com.
Oh, my goodness. Again. I'm so full as well. Thank you so much for being here. And I know we could go on, and we shall later. I know we're about to get to our favorite part of the show as well.
Yes. That is our Brilliant Blessing segment. And I tell you, there were so many that we could reference even in our conversation. God has not given us a spirit of fear.
My God.
All of these different things. But I've got a special one for us to close out with today. And so I want to take you all to 1 Corinthians 16:13, which says, be on guard, stand firm in the faith, be courageous, and be strong.
Yes.
That is what you have, are, and will continue to do through God.
Yes.
For the world. So we thank you. We thank you.
Thank you.
Woo!
Oh my goodness, what an incredible show. My God, we have to have you back. We're going to have more conversation. Thank you so much for being here. My goodness. If you enjoyed this and you want to watch this back like we are, we're going to grab a pen and a friend to rewatch this and catch all those gems. You want to head over to beyondbrilliantbroadcast.com. And if you've got questions and comments, go ahead and send those over to us as well. We want you to follow us on our social media as well. And again, now, if you haven't joined the Beyond Brilliant Network, you also want to do that. We'd like to thank our team, our sponsors, and everybody who's had a part in this incredible broadcast. And as always, we would love to leave you with this. Be bold,
be brave, and be brilliant.
Bye-bye.
For more information, show ideas, or to be a guest on our show, please visit www.beyondbrilliantbroadcast.com.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Dion Parker, the Courage Catalyst.
And I'm Dr. Nicole Steele, the Confidence Coach. And we invite you to join us weekly for Beyond Brilliance,
a show where you will gain the clarity, confidence, and courage to shine in your brilliant zone.
So tune in and tell a friend. We can't wait to see you.